Oh, good morning, everyone. You're seeing this on July 9th. It's Shivas or Batamas, but this is actually being recorded on July 8th. And on today's segment, we actually have a guest on our little show. The sponsor for today's video, Batshev and Mari Halpern, and the entire mishpacha are. We'll see in a second why, but before we do so, just a reminder that, of course, today is Shivas or Batamas. It's the fast day. It's the beginning of the 3 weeks. And all the restrictions of the 3 weeks begin as they escalate towards the 9 days and towards Tisha B'Av, of course, which will be the culmination of the 3 weeks, the saddest day on the calendar. Please continue to daven for Shleima for all those who need. I know, especially during this time, which is a difficult time for the Jewish people, all of our tefillas are needed. So Mordechai ben Elka, Rav Folzev ben Rickel, Gittel Basara, Noel Auspat Lilach Esther, Rezel Basara, and all those who need a refuah Shleima. Please also continue to contribute to our virtual journal. Thank you to all those who have already participated and you received already in the snail mail, letters and forms and the ad blanks. Please give them to your associates, etc., as we honor Barbara and Andy Hutter as one of the original families of our shul, and we give thanks and Hakaras Hatov to Yoni Glad for his 10 years of service as our youth director. So, our sponsor today. So today, I'll ask you a very simple question. Everybody knows Murray, right? So, Murray, we're trying to film being like far away. And there's a reason why we're doing it. You'll see there's a reason why we're doing this before the fast day, because we're actually going to make a l'chaim. Kids, don't try this at home. So, when is your father's Zechron Levracha, Shmayor ben Mordechai Dov, when is his birthday?
So thank you, Rabbi. It's a pleasure to be here, and God bless everyone. And Shivas Thomas was always the birthday that he celebrated. And this year, 2020, would have been 100 years from 1920.
Wow.
And I look back in the calendar, Shivas Thomas was Shabbos, and July 2nd was Friday. So I guess he was born Friday night, so it could be Shivas Thomas and July 2nd. And that's what we've gone by. So ironically, he never really got to celebrate. There was a lot of celebrating on his birthday until the evening. So.
And actually, we're going to have a segment that's going to be very important, appropriate for Friday night, which we'll see in a second. But he actually had 3 birthdays. Is that what it was?
Because somewhere along the way, July 2nd became a typo of July 20th on his driver's license. So, God forbid anyone should ever question authority of changing something on your driver's license. So he also had his driver's license birthday of July 20th instead of July 2nd. So we celebrate that one too.
Okay. So the first thing we have to do is, for your father, it would have been his 100th birthday. And then I say it, I say it lovingly, but I also say it longingly that I wish I had more time. I didn't get to really, really know him, but I feel privileged that I did get to know him, the little that I did. And I have this picture that I keep always. It's on my.
That was a great night.
I keep it on my next to my desk. But before, for our 100th birthday, first of all, we have to.
That was the wine sale. That was Purim. That was Purim. His last Purim here, and Mr. Zuckerman's last Purim here, and they had the wine sale for on Purim. The wine sale for Pesach.
Did we do well?
I ask Andy.
Okay.
We always do well with Andy.
We'll make a l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol niyeh b'dvaro. L'chaim Tom Shimons Bayidin. Your father's neshama should have an aliyah.
Amen.
And tibadol, your mother should be in good health, and you and your entire family. So, did you do anything special for the 100th birthday?
Yes, we did. We republished my father's book, and we got it online for the first time. So it's back in print and now available online. And
so I can share the link.
The link can definitely be shared. And we also finished remixing thank God, I was involved with Greg Wall and with other people to record songs to fight cancer and get my dad at the ripe age of 87 to record a song, and it worked very well. So we kept recording him until for about 3 years. When he was 90 plus, he said that was enough, and we recorded about 11 songs. So one of them is the Friday night.
So can we hear that one?
Yeah.
It's Menucha V'Simcha from Friday Night's Miras, and if we figured out that he was born Friday night, certainly it's appropriate. And I think it's. I know that singing was a great passion of his, and he writes in the book about the singing.
Sure.
Certainly, while they were on how they could the Nazis Yimach Shemam couldn't take that away from them, and so let's hear a little bit. Maybe we'll put it near the speaker so we can hear. This is Menucha V'Simcha. Murray's not so tech savvy, so you have to like work with him. You know, he doesn't.
Shabbos kodesh yom chamdusoi, ki v'shuvas b'kol malachtoi, b'mitzvah Shabbos heniach b'mitzvah kipkeru eile, v'shleim tov, v'ishmas kol chav gam naritzah, echol v'zimchukot rutzah, v'mishne lechem v'kedeshcha, v'borach matam v'richanim, v'yiskel ravtoch, v'mbo v'vigoylecha. Okay.
I like that in the end. Okay. I can still have a vision, a clear vision of your father sitting in his place with the shtender and singing along with the chazan on Rosh Hashanah, and really is like taking to a different place of sort of just an elevated spiritual place as the music did. So that's really something. And I've heard the CD. My favorite is Shtei Bells, and certainly the Yiddish songs. So that's really something. It happens to be, so now that we're in the period of the 3 weeks, and today's the fast day of Shivas B'Tamuz, and we talk about all the negative things that happened to our people. And we talk about how the luchos were broken, and we talk about how the certain carbon was stopped being brought, and of course leading up to the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. And one could spend one's whole life dwelling on all the negatives. We spend only a couple days of the year on that. And I think that when I look at your father, Zichron Livracha Tibadl, your mother, they never ever forgot and took for granted the negative things that happened, but that didn't define them, because they turned everything into a positive. And they didn't just survive, but they thrived. They built an empire, and they built a mishpacha, and they built a bayis neman b'Yisrael. And I think that's the greatest musar that I've always taken and learned from you and your family, of how you deal with adversity, of how you deal with challenges, and how important it is to you and to your entire family to build Klal Yisrael, to build Eretz Yisrael, to build Medinat Yisrael, and that's just something I'm truly in awe. So tell me one, we have a little bit of time, tell me one great story about your dad.
Well,
I know there's many, but if you had,
Well, I will use this moment to get a great story about him, but I did just write a couple of notes that, my father didn't really believe in exceptionalism. He didn't feel that he was exceptional. He always said that he survived because of Hashem, and he succeeded in America because of Hashem, and that the Rebbeinu Shalom, and that he always said in the book everywhere that there were people who were smarter than him who were killed, and stronger than him who were killed, and wealthier than him who were killed, and more religious than him who were killed. But he survived, and he knew that his mission was to go forward with his life and to remember and to tell people what happened. And many people said, if you survive, tell them what happened. And so, man plans, God laughs. This year God is really laughing. And, I have a note that for tomorrow, my father's 100th Hebrew birthday, Ramada, Jerusalem. That's where we're going to be. We're not there. The hotel's actually closed, I think, right now, still from the coronavirus. And thank God, I thought to do a trial run in early February, and I went to visit the kever back then. So, until I get another opportunity to go visit his kever in Honor of Sam Halpern, I hope it's sooner rather than later, and God help everybody who is dealing with. We're all dealing with it. God help everybody who's already affected and sick with it. So, as far as a great story, maybe I don't know. In the book, there's so many. He was, such a great dad. I can think back that he found time. When I was a little kid, I didn't realize, my dad's,
And you were probably a very easy child.
The best.
The youngest,
the easiest,
yeah.
the
Like
easiest.
Me. You're like me.
Like you and Marshall.
Easy, angel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure of that, but he worked very hard, and I didn't realize that if I went to get him to drive me and my friends around on the weekend, I didn't appreciate that he was working very hard during the week, and but he always, Shabbos was super important, and I've really cherished every memory, every photograph, anything. Republishing the book was a pleasure. It was hard work, actually.
Labor of love.
Took years to find a publisher who would actually work with me and go through the book and really do a faithful reprinting, plus some extra pictures and things like that.
So I have 2 points. First of all, what if your father were here today? What would he say about what's going on in the world?
That's
We need a lot more time for that.
A tough one, but he supported every president. He didn't.
Oh, I'm talking about Corona. Forget about politics.
Okay.
I wouldn't even go there.
But Corona, I have thought, what would he say about this? I'm not certain what he would have said, but he would have basically said, "We'll get through this."
Oh.
I'm sure it would have. It would have been optimistic, feeling that we'll get through this too.
Oh.
We got through a lot of things, and we got through
Oh,
this too.
there you go. There's the answer.
Okay.
And the picture that's attached to the video that we have in the email, there's a picture of you and Dave and your father. That's during the recording.
That's during one of the songs being recorded, and it's amazing the technology, whatever, the microphones. At one point, I was this far away from him, and I couldn't hear him singing. And on the microphone, it's great. It picked up everything. So the studio is a great thing to have. It wasn't just recorded on an iPhone. It was really recorded professionally, and that's the link that we were trying to preserve. The songs his father sang at the Shabbos table, and that I hope we can carry forward. There was very, very quickly, I gave the CD at one point to somebody, and they gave a copy to their father, and their father cried. He said, apparently he had lost his father when he was 10 years old, the grandfather, and he said, this Zmira, this tune, that's exactly how your grandfather sang it. I remember being a little boy, and even when I had the schus to meet Mr. Clive Davis in his office once, and I played Mein Städtler Bells for him, he went to his childhood. He said, what, this song? When I was a kid, my parents would take me to the Catskills. Every act played this song. So I explained, it was like a very popular tune back then. So that nostalgia, it's look, like we do with all of our traditions, it's important to remember where we came from. So, everything my father stood for, I think a lot. Thank God. What I did want to make sure to remember to say is that, thank God, my mother and my father came here to Livingston from Hillside like in 2007, and so he had about 6 years here with us, and that really this was such a wonderful time in his life. He loved this community. He moved here because he had, unfortunately, when he had some problems walking, the 10 or 12 or 15 blocks to shul just wasn't going to happen anymore. And so moving right across the street, and with our help, he really enjoyed being at Eitz Chaim, and I'm glad you guys had the time that you had together, because he was very happy.
Yes. Yes. So I thank you so much for just spending a few minutes. Please follow the link, read the book online. If you haven't read it, or if you've read it and you want to read it again, certainly appropriate for the 3 weeks. Please do so. And let's just take, like you said, the lessons of the past to know where we came from, but also for the 100 years into the future, because it's those past 100 years that will get us through the next 100 years. So, Murray, you should have only nachas from your children. You should have only good health, and you should give your mother nachas too, because I know you do. But you should and don't forget it's Batsheva's birthday next week. So that's a very important thing. Again, I'm just saying. But again, and for everything that you do for the shul and for the yeshiva and for the community and for Klal Yisrael, and I'm so grateful for your friendship and for letting me twist your arm into doing this, to sharing this today. So again, everybody should have an easy and, more importantly, a meaningful fast. Yes. Please stay healthy. If a person is not feeling well enough in the heat, please drink. It's important to hydrate. But again, the most important thing is to stay healthy, and we should only celebrate Simchas. And again, happy 100th birthday, Shema Yehu ben Mordechai Dov, Zichrono Livracha. Only good things. Thank you so much.
Amen. Thank you.